The concept of no kings is a great rallying cry, and hugely successful as millions of us have answered the call. I support this movement 150%. But when the crowds are chanting no kings, what I'm really hearing, as we all know, is no Trump.
That's right.
There have been other presidents who have tested the constitutional limits of their power, but none have been such an existential threat to our freedoms and security. None, except Trump. He must be stopped, and he must be stopped now. It's time to say no to kings. It's time to say no to Donald Trump. We've had enough. No King Trump. No unnecessary wars that rob our resources, sacrifice our brave servicemen and women, and slaughter innocents. No corrupt leader enriching himself and the Epstein class buddies. No taking away health care from our most vulnerable neighbors. No unaffordable groceries. No unaffordable energy. No unaffordable housing. And no inflation at its highest level since COVID. No government masked thugs shooting down our neighbors in the streets. Trump has to be stopped. And that's what No Kings is all about. Because he can't do all the fucked up things that he's been doing without the collusion of Congress and the goons in his administration. They're bound to him by fear of losing their own jobs, their own power. It's diabolical. How can this be happening? Look at the power of the No Kings national uprising. Afraid of Trump? Please. No, they should be more afraid of us.
That's right.
Because we still believe in the core American values of justice, equality, decency, and kindness. Because we're going from the streets to the ballot box, and because we all deserve a country with no kings, no Trump. Thank you. I support this movement 150%. It's time to say no to kings. It's time to say no to Donald Trump. We've had enough. No King Trump. No unnecessary wars that rob our resources, sacrifice our brave servicemen and women, and slaughter innocents. No corrupt leader enriching himself and the Epstein class buddies. No taking away health care from our most vulnerable neighbors. No unaffordable groceries. No unaffordable energy. No unaffordable housing. And no inflation at its highest level since COVID. No government masked thugs shooting down our neighbors in the streets. Trump has to be stopped.
Do you think our democracy is at risk in this election?
I think that it is. I always keep saying democracy is great, of course, but democracy people take for granted. It's a word that some people don't even understand. They take it for granted. It's about right and wrong, period. The guy's a monster. He is beyond wrong. It's almost like he wants to do the most horrible things that he can think of in order to get a rise out of us. I don't know what it is, but he's been doing it, and it's scary.
Are you?
Excuse my French.
Do you really worry that if he were to win again, and I'm not saying this like it's such a far-fetched notion, if he were to win again, that he would not give up power?
You know he won't. You know he won't. He even said it. He's never going to give it up. And anybody who deludes themselves in thinking that he is, shame on you.
You have compared the Trump family to a gangster family, which is something coming from you. What do you mean?
They are. Well, he because he thinks he's a gangster. He does everything like a gangster. I don't think that gangsters in that world would think much of him, because there's honor among thieves. There's honor in anything. If you don't keep your word and do the right thing with people, no matter what profession you're in, you are going to get ostracized. And in that world, it's a little harder.
I just got a review, and has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos. He would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Blah, blah, blah. Make America great again. Okay, now, see if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth. Anyone? No? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still, isn't it past your jail time? The president once again made time to mention his favorite moron, me.
He's doing really well. Totally dominates the late night. Totally dominates against those morons that they have at the other. Kimmel, what bad people?
Thank you. You know, Donald, you mentioned me. I think over the last 4 days, you mentioned me 3 times now in 4 days. I just want you to know, I'm thinking about you too, girl.
Welcome back to the channel, and today's video will be reacting to Robert De Niro and Jimmy Kimmel absolutely destroying Trump on live TV. We're going to break it down because a lot has been said from the clips you've watched before, and we will still actually show you more clips of Robert De Niro and Jimmy Kimmel speaking about Trump. Now, the truth is, these political scenarios, everyone is entitled to their opinion. Whether they say things that are more left or right, we know everyone is entitled to their opinions. And yeah, the first thing I want to say is, with the No Kings protest, that's something that I think many people didn't understand it. Now, it's a bit confusing because to a greater extent, you might watch and say, yes, Trump was elected into power. He actually has every right to do what he is doing. But you also question, has he pushed the boundary of his powers? Is he doing things that are not within the laws of America? So it begs to ask I beg myself to ask this question: is Trump actually a king or is he not? Because if I understand this so well, I know kings are people who are born into some position, regardless of people voting for them. But there is more that Robert De Niro actually said that led me into a deep thought, and I was asking myself, it's starting to make sense, and I'm going to show you those clips before we continue. Also, I want to talk about Jimmy Kimmel. Now, Jimmy Kimmel, for me, again, is my favorite late night host, and he has had a whole lot to say about Trump. The reason I always love bringing Jimmy Kimmel into these scenarios is because he takes these political scenarios again, brings them to comedic moments, and make you to understand exactly what it is. Now, I think let's watch this clip before we continue.
It's time to say no to kings. It's time to say no to Donald Trump. We've had enough. No King Trump. No unnecessary wars that rob our resources, sacrifice our brave servicemen and women, and slaughter innocents. No corrupt leader enriching himself and the Epstein class buddies. No taking away health care from our most vulnerable neighbors. No unaffordable groceries. No unaffordable energy. No unaffordable housing. And no
Now, this point is quite important because you see, Robert De Niro is speaking about the fact that Trump has actually gotten way richer compared to when he wasn't in president. And to be honest, he's actually speaking the truth. Look at the numbers before and look at the numbers after. I think let's keep going.
Inflation at its highest level since COVID. No government masked thugs shooting down our neighbors in the streets. Trump has to be stopped. And that's what No Kings is all about. Because he can't do all.
Now, he even dropped a massive Epstein bombshell at a New York press conference, which you just watched. But before I continue, I want you to watch more insights because this is where things take a different pivot on what De Niro actually had to say.
I mean, look at the lame, inane things that he said. He's so stupid, he can't even say anything clever or smooth. He's a moron.
Do you think he pretends to be dumber than he is to confuse people and make them think, no, you think he's...
No. I don't think so.
Why do you think? I'm curious why you would guess that there's a big group of people in this country who believe that he cares about them.
I am totally dumbfounded, baffled by that. I can't understand it. And it's so obvious. I just don't understand. People could buy it. He is a malignant narcissist. He's a socio-psychopath. He's created some new language as far as describing somebody in his mental condition. It's so frightening and scary, and he's dangerous. We got to get rid of him.
Do you ever?
Shame on those Republicans that don't have the nerve, the balls to go after him. What do they tell their kids? What do they tell their grandkids later when it's written in history books what their role is and what they did, and they allowed him to do this? He's an outright criminal, and they're still buying it.
Please, no, they should be more afraid of us.
As you heard, he actually accused Trump of inflation, using his executive power to enrich himself, and he associated together with the Epstein bodies. This is not the first time Robert DeNero has taken down on Trump. It's not even the second time. This keeps happening over and over again. The takedown got incredibly emotional on the live podcast where Robert DeNero choked up viewers, warning that Trump will absolutely refuse to leave office voluntarily, that his entire public persona will be turned into a dictator. Now, that we are not sure of, because I should say this, it hasn't been proven yet, but Robert DeNero still won on this. He even later spoke about the effects of what we are actually facing right now: inflation, rising prices, the war in Ukraine, the war in Iran, and a whole lot more. Now, with all that is being said, I think that with everything Robert DeNero is saying, there should be some truth in it. You cannot deny the fact that with every fire there is, it's the same, it's with every smoke, no, it's with every fire there is some smoke with it. Oh, I'm missing it out. Well, you get the whole point. But I think Robert DeNero, he has built the persona of being a lovable actor. He has some influence, and he is trying to impact the community with this level of influence. I think let's keep watching this clip and we'll continue from there.
I've never thought of citizenship as being an act of love. I've tried to be a good citizen. I pay my taxes, vote, obey the law, recycle, stay within the speed limit. Most of the time. Not always. In return, I'm grateful for the opportunities and freedoms my family, my fellow citizens, my immigrant ancestors have enjoyed. But my heart is broken as I see them being taken away, both the freedoms and increasingly my fellow citizens. I'm not going anywhere. This is my house, my home.
When you look at and hear from all the folks that were out on the streets yesterday, young and old, white and black, from across the political spectrum, small towns and big cities, what do you think that tells you about the difference that we have now and kind of the resistance that's growing and where we started in January?
It tells me that I'm very happy to see that, because we need much more of it going forward, because that's the only thing that the politicians are going to recognize. They either face the wrath of Trump or the wrath of the people. And they have to be more afraid of the wrath of the people and realize this is not good. I better strap on my balls and do something about it.
Do you think they got that message, that's going to resonate with them as the week comes into?
It has to, we can't let up. Cannot let up on it, because he is not going to leave the White House. He does not want to leave the White House. He will not leave the White House. Anybody thinks he'll do this, he'll do that, is just deluding themselves. The Republicans, most of all, because they know, but they're going along with it. It's a classic bully situation. We see it, and there's no other to face a bully. You have to face him and fight it out and back him off and back him down. That's the only way this is going to work.
Now, if you think Robert DeNero's monster energy was wild, then I think you should watch what Kimmel just did, because Jimmy Kimmel is busy using Trump's own historical archive videos to bury him to the ground. Watch this.
I want to address the president directly on this. Mr. President, please, let me host this dinner. I've never asked you for anything, but can you imagine you, me, the commissioner of the FCC, all at a table together? Think of the ratings. I'll even throw in an award. You like award? I'll give you a brand new award, the Corresponding, the Dondi Corresponding. No one will ever get it besides you. Please, give the people what they want for once. This is our destiny together, you and me. Think about it. Let's make it the greatest, hottest, most spectacular dinner of any kind ever. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. Now he's openly rooting for NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and the hundreds of Americans who work for their shows who don't make millions of dollars. And I hope that if that happens, or if there's even any hint of that happening, you will be 10 times as loud as you were this week. We have to speak out against this. Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes unclassified information. They want to pick and choose what the news is. I know that's not as interesting as muzzling a comedian, but it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying more attention to it. The government threat to silence a comedian the president doesn't like is anti-American. That's anti-American. Oh, I'm sorry. We're more than 2 hours into the show and Donald Trump hasn't tweeted at us once. And I'm starting to get worried about him. Hold on a second. Can you put it up, my phone up on the screen? Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I'm not that good with this stuff. After months of delays, 9 months of delays, in fact, the Trump brand mobile phone finally started shipping to customers, and what a lucky bunch of customers they are. Trump Mobile is now investigating a potential security flaw that appears to have exposed the personal information of those who bought their phones. And that is a shame. If you can't trust your sensitive personal information with the guy who stored classified documents in the shower of his golf club, is there anyone you can trust nowadays?
If you've been following up, if you've been watching my videos, you know I love to bring Jimmy Kimmel up. I just love him so much because he takes this presidential, or let's say this tense environment of politics, and breaks it down into very genuine moments, taking Trump's old videos and breaking it down for the public to understand what is actually going on. Now, the last video you just watched, to be honest, for me was epic. Kimmel makes fun of Trump at the Oscars, live on stage. And to be honest, in America, I think everyone has every right to say whatever you have to say. Muzzling up and telling people they have to be fired because they said this, they said that, or making fun of something for me isn't right, to be honest. But I would love to say this: sometimes you saying some things, regardless of whether you have the freedom or not, indirectly or directly is going to put you in scenarios like this. Understandably so, that's why Trump tweeted to ABC to take off Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, the late night comedy hosts that mostly talk about him throughout, right? But are they actually on their right? Of course so. So I think telling ABC directly, you got to suspend these people and suspend the people who are working for them, for me it's not right at all. Now, there's this part where it's very interesting because Kimmel directly branded the unauthorized Iran military strikes as a weapon of mass destruction, telling his audience that when your best friend was a notorious man that goes in bed with young people and you're losing the swing state, you light up a wall to hide the news. Now, this was a case that I was kind of confused if it's true or not, but I'll leave you in the comment section to tell me for yourself. Was Jimmy Kimmel right there or not? I want to also say this. Kimmel even dropped an unhinged truth bomb about potential drone strikes, suggesting that Trump actually wants California to get hit because a foreign attack would be an instant political win-win for the administration. That's something that I'm not very sure of, but I don't think that is going to happen. Now, thank you for watching this video. If you've loved videos like this and you want more of my reaction into these different political scenarios, picking out the best moments when Jimmy Kimmel, late night comedians, actors, actresses actually expose what is happening in our political scenes, do want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in another one. Ciao.